This is the depth of the operation right here, man. The depth. Hey, man. Why don't you join us? Yeah. How's it going? It's been a while since we've been on the deck, man. I haven't really worked on anything in a while. Just done unboxings. I haven't really put anything together. This isn't either one of those things, though. It's not unboxing something. It's not putting anything together. It's actually taking. It's actually. Is that too much? That's too much. Let's put this over here. You can be reunited with your friend too. It's actually taking something apart. I mentioned this in one of my previous videos that I was going to pull the kingpins out of these Indy 215s, and I was going to drop a set of grind kings in there. And I kind of wanted to show you that process. I know that I've showed the process of doing it with the gull wings and also with the thunders, but the gull wing and the thunder both had that coffin-shaped recess in the base plate. So it was really easy to drop them in there, and the actual nut kind of had that place to sit in so you could tighten it in, and it wasn't very loose. These, I know, have a circular, actually let's take them apart. A circular recess, which makes it a little bit more difficult to have the bolt kind of stay in place while you screw, or the nut stay in place while you screw the bolt into it. So let's take a closer look at that. This is, by the way, my Dogtown Web, one of my favorite boards, probably the board that I ride the most, or at least has the most hours on it over the last couple of years. I don't know, it's the stage, or I guess what they would call the retro geometry of the 215, which I think is between a stage 4 and a stage 5. I think is the best turn of any independent. I'm limited on my stage 4s. I built that Keith Meek, and I haven't really gotten an opportunity to ride it much aside from in a parking lot, just kind of rolling around on it. I like the way they feel so far, but I don't know if they're as stable as the 215. So yeah, let's pull this apart and you get a better idea of what it is. Might take me a second to get this first part done, but shouldn't take too long. This is also good for my wrist, I guess. Maybe some, what do they call that? Getting the range of motion going and all that, or increasing my range of motion, gross and fine motor skills as I rehabilitate. It's been doing a lot better. I mean, I'm using it more. I don't know if it still hurts though, man. It's crazy. I can't even do a push-up. Like, sucks. It's hard to really work out, lift weights or anything like that. Good thing is I can run on the elliptical. Really hasn't done anything for my weight problems. I'm actually 225 pounds, which is crazy, I think. But again, this is the year of the fat athlete. I think I'm gonna push that moniker in 2024. I just hope that I can, like, you know, still be somewhat graceful. Oh, that one feels like it's spinning from underneath. Yeah, it is. Both of those are. Yeah, it's been super cold here though. That's one of the problems with the last couple of weeks. I've had no motivation to do much of anything because we've been in somewhat of a deep freeze. I don't know when the last time we were above freezing. We got some snow. Friday it was supposed to be this, you know, not a major snowstorm, but they basically attempted to shut the city down. My work was off. They just decided that it was going to be something massive, and it only turned out to be like a dusting. But I'm glad that they closed everything down. It was kind of cool to go out and walk around a little bit, see the landscape with all the snow. I filmed some time lapses of the trains nearby. There was kind of a weird haze that went along with everything. So I got some cool footage of that. I don't know quite where I would use it though. It's just, I guess I was just bored, wanted to get outside and do something. So off of here, get a better look at what I was discussing as far as the base plate of that. So yeah, you can see the recess there is round. It's not that coffin style. So when we go to set the nut, there's going to be kind of a lot of space for it to float around in there, you know. And there's not really a way, if you were to do it without putting anything here. My plan is to do epoxy around the nut to kind of hold it in space. And then after that epoxy dries, I'll be able to back the kingpin itself back out of there and then rebuild the, or not rebuild, replace the hanger and everything to do with the truck. So yeah, that's my plan initially. I've seen a couple of people do it with JB Weld. I've got some epoxy that's Gorilla Glue. And I got these again, these Grind King Creepers off of Amazon. They were $9.90 shipped. I got the epoxy, I think it was $4.95 for a 2-package tube. So you could essentially do 4 trucks with that if you wanted to. Pretty good deal, $15 to really overhaul any truck. I've seen videos where people have done it with the Independence. I've seen videos where people have done it with the Ace trucks. So this method seems fairly simple and kind of foolproof. And I've filmed a couple of times where I've done the Thunders and done the Gullwings, but again, aesthetically, it just didn't look good. And unfortunately, my compulsion kind of didn't allow me to post it because I just didn't like the way that it looked. So I'm hoping whenever I film the removal of this kingpin, the setting of this new kingpin and the epoxy, it actually looks fairly aesthetically good, and you can kind of, you know, better understand the process. And we'll see how it goes. I know most of the things that I film are pretty cringy, but those other things, I don't know. There was something just way off about them, and I couldn't pull myself into actually allowing me to post them. I don't know what it is. It's just a weird thing that happens, I guess. I have, and it happens with some of the stuff I do, like with the music too. I have probably, you know, maybe 800 songs, and I maybe published, I don't know, maybe 100 of them onto YouTube and Bandcamp and other places. It's just like, I don't know. I get in my own head, which is weird. But I guess if there's any place you want to be, being inside your own head is probably the safest place to be, right? Maybe not in this case. I hate this commercial. Mostly because it's football. All right, so we'll pull this back truck off of here. I love to watch the videos of the dude from Geezer Skate. He'll put a board together and he'll just sit there and rap like Stream of Conscience. It's really hard to do. I admire him for that, man. He can just sit there and go off. He's got a lot to talk about and a lot to say. Chris, too, from 80s Love. Shout out to him, man. He does really good videos on all the PAL stuff. Super informative. And he can just freestyle stuff like that is just off the cusp. I mean, I dig it. He does 2 things at once very well. It's very difficult for me to do that. I don't know why. If I did, you would think I would have figured it out by now. 47 years. All right, a little bit more here to go before we kind of change scenes. So my whole deal is like I said, I'm going to take this down to the subterranean layer of my home. And I'm going to build, not really build, I'm going to make a jig to attach the base plate onto so that I can hammer out the kingpin relatively easily. Or at least I'm hoping it happens relatively easily. I don't know for sure that's going to be the case. I hope that it goes well. And I'm going to put the epoxy in there. The epoxy is going to take a little while to dry. It says that it sets up in 5 minutes, but I'm just going to give it an overnight run and let it go from there. And then I'm going to have to return back to put this board back together. And occupational therapy was the word I was looking for earlier when I'm using my wrist and turning it. Now that it's out of the brace and somewhat healed up. So there. Yeah, this board is sick, man. I don't know if anybody's ever ridden a web before, but this one is one of my favorites for sure. Even though this is a Paul Schmidt board, and I do have my issues with Paul Schmidt, which I don't know why I do, but I do. I'm turning that the wrong way. See, I can't do two things at once. Channel my inner geezer skateboard guy. I just don't like fake professors, I guess. Also, this board is kind of mushy. I mean, it deserves to be because I've pretty much beaten it pretty savagely over the last couple of years, but I didn't think it would break down as quickly as it did and lose the energy as quickly as it did. But, you know, it happens. We need to change these bushings out too. I think what I'm going to do, there's the other one. Same. I think what I'm going to do is I have a set of these Indy stage 4 cushions, and everything that I've read about these are actually really good in the 215. These are more like what they were originally set up as, and it puts them closer to the original geometry that the stage 4 has, considering the hanger is very similar and the base plates have not really changed, but they're so the height will be slightly better, and it should add to the, or kind of make it perform the way that it originally did, the way that stages 1 through 7 originally performed. So that's something I'm kind of looking forward to see if it actually does make a difference. And I should probably clean this up a little bit. Maybe I'll do a bearing clean or something like that as well, just for the fun of it, because I have the whole kit. Do a winter cleanup. Slime balls, goobers on here, 60s, 97As. These wheels rip. If you don't know, grab a set of these. They're super cheap too. I think I've gotten them for 30 bucks off of NHS's website. They're always on sale. They have a black colorway now that looks really dope. A little bit more about this board, man. 1/2-inch rise on the Indies. This thing destroys, man. It really does. I ride the trucks pretty loose. You can tell tons of wheel bite on here, but if you set this up slightly differently, it definitely, with the 1/2-inch rise, doesn't bite a 60 as much. But it all depends on your personal preference, how loose you want your trucks to be. But all right, so we're going to take these downstairs. I'm going to reset up. Hopefully the camera sets up well. We can figure out a way to make these these kingpins easy to get out, and it will film well. I'm not so sure that that's going to happen. Hopefully it will, and we can use this footage that we're creating right now to actually make a video that's informative and cool and aesthetically beautiful to my low standards. All right, let's go get these kingpins out. Okay, here we are, set up in the subterranean lair of my house, aka the basement, where such cool things as I participate in doing laundry, storing my patio furniture. It's also where my cat takes a dump. So the first thing we're going to do, I'm going to take one of these 2x4s and I'm going to drill a hole basically right in the top of it, right up here. So that's where this kingpin, when I start to begin to hammer it out, is going to recess out of. So this is kind of our jig to remove the kingpin. I'm going to drill that out with a 3/4 inch paddle bit. Don't rag on me for my Porter cable tools, please. I've just always been a fan ever since I bought like that first like gray set. Had the flashlight and everything in it that was totally useless, that never really worked. And the trim saw, the circular trim saw, man, I was all about that circular trim saw, even though I didn't ever cut anything with it. Anyway, so that gives you an idea of what we're looking for right there. Pretty simple stuff, I'm hoping. So we'll drill it out, or at least not really drill it out, just reset it so it's... That should give it enough space to come out. See, set the first one up on there. Let's hope that this works. I think that it will. Just going to screw it down with a couple of drywall screws, and then we'll relocate to the concrete floor in an attempt to get this thing to hammer out. All right, so there it is, set in there. And you know what? Maybe what I'll do, just make another one right now. Well, I don't have screws for that. Let's do this one first. I'm trying to think to work smarter, not harder, but I think I want to work harder, not smarter. So here we go. Let's knock this out real quick. I'm going to change camera angles real quick. We move down to the basement floor, which is a little bit more solid surface. That table will definitely not hold this. It's a dead blow hammer or a demo hammer. Pretty simple stuff. Let's see how it goes. Wow. There it goes. Man, that was super loud. I hope it transmitted through the video. I'm sure that it did. I might have to kill that sound on there. You could definitely hear it vibrating in the tub of the washing machine. So there's the first one down. Here's the second one. Slightly easier. Let me take that apart right here just to kind of show you how it comes apart too. Drywall screws that. See how it just pops right out of there. Real simple, nice and easy. Thing's pretty beat up. All right, so there's that. Let's move back up to the table real fast. We'll finish taking that other one apart and pour the epoxy. Here's our first one cleared, the one that we pulled the kingpin out of. And here's the second one. Kind of see the kingpin still in there. Comes right out. NBD. So now what we're going to do is pull the creepers out. The furnace is kicking on. Hope it's not too loud. We'll see what the mic picks up. But we're going to go with it either way. You can see. Oh, is that going to give us trouble going in there? Let's take a look. Oh, not especially, no. Nothing that a dead blow hammer can't handle, right? We'll slightly screw this on there. We want it to have some recess. Actually, now that I'm looking at that, I kind of want to screw that on there a little deeper. Let me show you guys. Because I don't want too much epoxy to go on top of the nut itself. I kind of want that to be level. I may have to pause the move here for a second to go get a skate tool. I have one just upstairs. There we go. Pop that through. Screw that on there partially. Yeah, I definitely want to get that further onto there before I pour it. So that's good, but and again, I'm sure that epoxy won't hold the bolt from getting through the nut all the way up, but I just want to make sure I'm all the way clear through the threads of the nut. So give me 1 minute, I'll be right back. All right, skate tool recovered. So what I want to do, if I can, without screwing things up any more than I already have, just bring that bolt down a little bit. Yeah, I want that to be flush. And again, once the epoxy's in there, I can loosen it, as long as that nut's held in space. And I don't know, I'm flying kind of without direction on this part, because in the videos I've seen, I've never seen anyone really, yeah. That's what we want to avoid. We want to avoid that spin, but once the epoxy's in there, it will set. And that is not my fire alarm beeping. That's the stupid cable box. I replaced the battery, and for some reason it still malfunctions and it beeps every once in a while. I don't know why I feel the need to explain that, but yeah. Verizon, man. I don't know if anybody else has Verizon. They've actually been pretty good to me. And they know a shit ton about me, you know. I couldn't really go against them because they'd just be like, look, man, we know your whole internet browsing history. Anytime you want to try to get over on us, we got all the goods on you, bro. Your search history is enough to make you be quiet for the rest of your life and pay us whatever we want. So yeah, that looks way better right there. That should give us exactly what we need. All right. Bust out a line of sawdust real quick. Any good carpenter knows. Take one of those right to the noggin before you do any project. So my jig is going to be double duty. It's not only going to be the jig, but it's also going to be the rest for the base plate while I pour my epoxy. Let's put those guys together. Let's put that like that. Beautiful. And again, this is the epoxy that I got. This is the Gorilla Glue, or Gorilla Epoxy. I don't think it says glue anywhere. So I guess all their products would be individually named. This would be Gorilla Epoxy. And again, super cheap. Got 2 of them. So if I want to do a couple more trucks, I can. So combined, this is a $15 project. Not that I needed to do it, but it's on a good little budget. So we're going to slap this bad boy together. or mix it. Doesn't look like they included any mixing tools, unfortunately, which is kind of a bummer. So what would we use to mix this? What's the idea here? Oh no, it's right here, dude. Who am I? How do I get that out of there, though? This is going to be the longest portion of the video as I attempt to extract the mixing and spreading tool. Oh shit, where am I? Maybe I have a knife somewhere. Usually do. Got some cutters. What are these? Needle nose. These might do the job. Damn it to hell. Yeah, this is the longest portion of the video. And again, it's destroying the aesthetics of everything. There's part of it. Oh yeah, there it is. Sick. All right. So, I'm not going to read the instructions because that's just how I roll. So here we go. A minute. There we go. Give you an idea of the pace that this stuff travels out. I'm going to double up on it. Actually, I could probably set it up here. That would give you a better visualization. Tentatively, that's like roughly half of it right there. And we'll mix this together. This is a lot thicker than I thought it would be. I thought it was going to be a little runny. It's definitely really thick. It's gooey. All right. Drop it in there. Actually, this might take the whole thing to do this. I don't think it's going to. I'd throw a little bit more at it just for fun. Let's see, a little bit more. Yeah, we're getting. Yeah, it actually is probably going to take the whole thing to do this. What did I do? Which is cool. Okay, there it is. All filled up. And I think what I want to do, rip off that top layer just to kind of smooth it out. And adjust our kind of, because I don't want that to interfere with our points of contact on the board itself, or on the riser pad. Yeah, this is definitely a different consistency than I thought it would be. I thought it would be slightly waterier. It's not. Very jelly. All right, so I've got a little bit more, some gloves. I'm going to clean that up just a little bit. And then hopefully we'll be able to resume filming this project tomorrow after it's had the evening to set up, and we'll be able to reassemble the web completely and fully. All right, hopefully this turns out. So we are back in the subterranean layer of the house to check on the base plates, see how they've dried, and by all appearances it would seem that they've dried actually exceptionally well. Pretty stoked on how they look. I let these cook for a couple of extra days. I didn't really mess with them at all because I didn't want to deal with them being like soft, you know? I didn't want to deal with this epoxy not hardening up enough to set and hold that nut in place, you know? Just felt like if I did that, it was a recipe for disaster, you know? It's like the sex after sex erection. It's soft, you know, you're trying to thumb it in there, you can't really get it to work out, you know, but you're ignorant to the facts and you force it, and then you end up looking bad, and you know your partner asks you if you're tired and you're like no, you know, then you just ultimately blurt out that it's never happens to me, and then you want to be alone for a while, and things just end up not working out great after something like that. But this hardened up really nicely. That is virile. So next thing is to see is whether or not we can turn this little without it. Oh yeah, there we go. I'll be darned. Will it turn all the way out? That's the other question. Beautiful. I loosened it up by turning it out. Now let's take this out without having to use tools other than what we have. Yep. Looks like that's going to happen. Perfect. Absolutely perfect. Yep. I think we can put this back together. Let's try this other one just to make sure, you know. Take care of both parts as they're working. And that one turned really easily. Holding in place. Unscrew that. And again, perfect. That's what's up. Yeah, I did come back down here the morning after to, where's that beep? I did come back down here the morning after to look at these, and I realized, man, they definitely, like, the epoxy wasn't dried clear. It was kind of a whitish color, and I thought, yeah, no, it's definitely not dry enough to really hold that in place. So I let these cook for about 5 days, if I'm being honest. I filmed that on last Saturday. So yeah, about 5 days roughly. I don't think you'd have to wait that long. It says 24 hours, but if you have a extended period in which to work, I'd go ahead and just, you know, use that as an option, because the longer you let this set, the more rigid it's going to be, the better it's going to be, the more likely you're going to be successful with holding that bolt or that nut in place so it doesn't just turn out when you bust it loose. So yeah, I think we're all good, man. I think it's time to take these back upstairs and put the web back together. Take a look at the finished product, see how it looks with those Indy Stage 4 bushings in there. I think it's going to look good. I think we'll be able to tell really quickly how much more clearance we're going to have. And, you know, I'm all about the aesthetics. I think it's going to look dope too. So, yeah, let's try that now. All right, we're back with the final rebuild after getting that kingpin set in there real nice. You can see the nut in there. Pretty excited about putting these back together, especially with the Indy bushings. I'm really looking forward to seeing how these actually perform, because the height requirement is closer to the original stage 1 through 7. At least that's what I'm told. We'll find out. Actually, I wasn't told that. I read that. So. Don't believe everything that you read. Get a parking violation and a maggot on your sleeve. Should be a pretty easy reassemble. Hopefully. And again, we're hoping that the aesthetics of this whole project really fit, you know, because if you're an artist, that's what you want. I mean, if you are any kind of an artist. You know what? I'm going to 86 that top washer too. I think that's overkill. Let's pull that out of there. I probably don't need the bottom one, the washer cup, but I'm going to leave it in there just for now. It's going to be a minute before I get to skate this. We're kind of still in some shitty weather. It is February in Western Pennsylvania, so I'm expecting a whole lot of sunshine at this point. And yeah, that's going back together really easily. I ride these really loose. I'm sure you saw when I took them apart. They were hella loose. So I'm just going to do a soft tighten on that. Nothing too insane. Because I'll probably have to loosen them eventually anyway. But yeah, there it is. That's exactly what I was hoping for. I mean, you can see that clearance right there. Definitely better. Whole lot more than what the original Kingpin was already getting into. This Kingpin actually rests below the axle. You can see that. So, yeah. That is exactly what I was hoping for. My chair is slowly sinking. It's like I'm getting shorter. Let me fix that real quick. There we go. But yeah, that looks really good. I'm really happy with the way that came out. No, let's throw this other one together. Why not? If one is good, two is better, right? Just trying to channel. Not going so well. Not the best small talker. I do like to riff though. I'm not that great at it. I used to be funny. I don't know what happened. It's hard to be individually funny. I feel like the group dynamic lends itself to, you know, getting a couple of zingers in there, especially if you're hanging out with the homies. Unfortunately, lucky enough to be in a group of people who have a good sense of humor. Oh, the globe just crapped out. Oh no. Or no, the moon, I should say. And we got hit with a pad at the same time. totally interrupting my train of thought. It's how am I going to flow free form? All I want to do is stand up and let my free form free. All right, so there's the front truck. Looks pretty good. We got clearance on there. Actually, now that I think about it, which one of these was the front and which one was the back? They're both pretty healthily. This is the back right here. Should have marked them when I took them apart, but they say you should do that anyway, just for your bushings. But I mean, since we're putting in new bushings, I don't think it's really that big of an issue. This makes me want to smooth out my denim dinner jacket. Oh, yeah. That's straight fire right there, dude. This is exactly what I was thinking it would be. And of course, I'll take some better pictures of it with the iPhone 14 to get a closer look, because it's going to be hard to really tell with the camera set up from here, but it looks really good. Let me hold it up. I don't know if you can tell because the lighting is kind of on this side, but maybe you can see it. But yeah, I'll take some good pictures of it, give you a better idea. There's Obama Cube. Yeah, totally worth it. 100%. This is like exactly how I thought it would look from my initial impressions of watching other people do it. I'm really excited the way that it turned out. It was actually way easier than I thought it would be. I really can't tell because I haven't edited the first part of the video. Hopefully the first part is kind of as explanatory as it needs to be, and kind of shows you exactly how to go about this process. Again, the Gorilla Glue epoxy was super easy to mix, super easy to apply. Again, the letting it sit for several days, if you do have the ability to do that. If you're like me and you have more than one setup, I have my primary setup, so I like to have a quiver available. So, you know, and plus it being winter, I had a chance to let this one sit, let it set up, let that epoxy truly harden up. That was clutch. I think that was a game changer for sure. I don't think throwing it on there right away would be the exact, or attempting to mess with it before it was completely set up might be a bummer, and it might lead you to be pretty discouraged if you actually, you know, didn't have the time to let that set up and then you know, messed up with the nut. This stuff is pretty sticky. I think that it would probably be hard to clean out of there if that were the case. I can't say much about the JB Weld. I'm sure the JB Weld would be the exact same way. And then you know, how that would limit you after the fact if you were able to kind of get it cleaned out enough to try to reset and do it again. But yeah, the Grind King Kreper, I got that one for $9.96, I believe it was, on Amazon. free 2-day. They busted it out, shipped it over. I got the epoxy on Amazon as well. It was $4.96. So basically, I got an inverted kingpin set up for right around 15 bucks, which is pretty good considering the Indy base plate is pretty expensive. So yeah, I think it's definitely worth it. Is it worth the experience? Sure. I think so too. If you're interested in tooling around on stuff, I have been, and I think I'll continue to be. It was kind of interesting to take it apart. It's a little bit of an experiment. I mean, it didn't really, you're mixing two kinds of chemicals together to make a third kind of chemical that hardens up, which is kind of, it's not Mr. Wizard type of stuff, but it's still pretty cool. It's interesting if you're into that sort of thing. So, and it's super easy. There's really no risk involved. I mean, you could be out 15 bucks, and 15 bucks is definitely a substantial amount of money if you're on a budget. But yeah, no, totally worth it. Again, I'll throw some pictures together, get you a closer look at the finished product. I think I've got a couple of pictures. I might be able to pull some still frames off of the video to kind of show you some other pictures of the thing as it was taken apart and, you know, setting back up. I think I posted some on the community part of the YouTube channel, so maybe I can show you those again. Add them into the whole mix when I edit this out. But yeah, all in all, it came out together. Or it came out together and it came out well. And I'm pretty excited about that, that I was able to get this thing set back up. And I'm stoked. And I'm really looking forward to banging on this thing again in the very near future. And these commercials are just outrageous right now. Just one right after another. Insane. Can't even sit here and watch Streets on Fire. Sucks. But yeah, right on. Completion of the Kingpin invert with the epoxied in nut. Definitely stoked on it. Definitely glad that it turned out well. Interesting experience. And I'd say if you want to take the trip, you know, buy the ticket and take the ride, 100%. All right. So yeah, got a build coming up. Definitely going to build that this soon. Pretty stoked on it. Looking forward to putting it together. Had some real crazy dreams about having like full setup quivers with matching, like when you bring them out, it's all one company and all their kind of pulled up parts. So I think I'm going to get a couple more cruisers. Maybe a PAL cruiser. I've already got a Dogtown longboard. I got this one, which is kind of in the Madrid family. I got a couple of ideas that I think I'm going to throw together some stuff. I've got the Steve Stedham back there. Just got some mini logo trucks for it. I want to rebuild that. Got some Dragon 56s I want to put on there, so I got that in the future. This bag right here actually has some independent trucks inside of it. The hollows with the anodized base plate on them, the blue color. I'll be doing a first look on these really soon. And I think I'm going to put these on that SMA, the Madrid SMA Stigmata. So that's coming up. Working on plenty of fun stuff to kind of do. Getting back into the swing of things. Hopefully this warmer weather sticks around and we get rid of all this rain and cold weather. And I mean, I'm sure we're not out of the woods yet, but one can hope. And that one that is hoping is me. So right on. Hope you stuck around this far. Thanks for doing so. Hope everybody's well. Looking forward to seeing all the guys that I follow, that I subscribe to their channels, produce more content. I saw Johnny Surfside cruising around on his Arbor. Got to give him a shout, see what the real deal is on that thing. I don't know if he bought that as a complete or built that. I scoped out some of the sales they had going on, and I really do like, you know, I have that Mystic, the longboard, Gull Wing Alpines and Snakes on it. It's one of my favorite cruisers, but they've got some other stuff too that really stoked on. I'm going to reach out and see what's up with that. Who else is putting stuff out? I don't even think who I follow, that who I've seen videos lately. I haven't really been paying much attention. been tied up with other things, but I'm looking forward to getting back into it. I can start to feel the stoke, that 50-degree weather, like just there's just like a little tingle there. You know what I mean? It's like a nerve that your hand fell asleep and it's starting to wake back up. So definitely looking forward to that. Looking forward to making some cool builds. Looking forward to making some cool rebuilds, and looking forward to better weather and getting outside more and spending some time in the sunshine for sure. All right. Hope everybody's well. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll definitely talk to you guys soon.